Hi folks, Bex here, talking to you about 75 Bard. So I've had a lot of folks asking me, what in the heck is this 75 Bard thing? Is it gonna be like 75 hard? Is it something to do with D&D? Well, it's a little bit of those things as inspiration, but what 75 Bard is at its core is an opportunity to create with consistency and to build community. So what do I mean by that? Well, often, especially through the fall and winter months, it can be incredibly challenging to stick with our creativity, much less for the rest of the year. So there's people who participate in Inktober, there's people who participate in NaNoWriMo, and then a lot gets just set on a shelf, waiting to be touched again. And often we get into the winter, we get into the slowness of things, or we feel pressure to have a particular type of New Year's resolution. And then a little while into the new year, it just sort of falls off the cliff. So I had a friend of mine talking about a challenge he gave himself to post and write for 30 days on a particular platform. And my brain said, 75 Bard. And I was like, okay, brain, whatever, that's really cute, but what even is that? And then I started to think about it more. And I started to think about the challenges that creative people, which by the way, all of us are creative in some way, but the challenge that creative people have with keeping consistency in whatever their focus is in their creativity. And sometimes it's the focus itself. If you're like me, I'm a lifelong artist in lots of different directions, from visual art to writing to performance art. So it can be really hard for me to pick a direction and stick with it. So here's what we're gonna do for 75 Bard. It kicks off January 2nd, 2026, and we together are going to commit to our creativity for 75 solid days. Now here's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna shame or blame ourselves into creativity. We're not gonna create anti-patterns and an unhealthy relationship with our creativity. Instead, we're going to have some very simple commitments to do each and every day to move us forward in our creativity and continue stoking those creative fires. So here are the daily commitments. 1, you're gonna tend to your foundations. It's really hard to create when you're feeling particularly depleted. So your foundations may look different for you. If you haven't spent some time already thinking about that, I do have a video a little ways back talking about what I mean by foundations, but just to give you a couple of examples, mine tend to be things that are really simple, like making sure I hydrate every day, making sure I'm setting myself up for good sleep, making sure I'm actually eating some food throughout the day, right? So they don't have to be complex, they just need to be what you need to function through the day. That's tending your foundations. Number 2, you're going to have one creative session each day. There is no time minimum, there's no time maximum. I will have recommendations during the challenge, but it could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. It can be very open. And a creation session or a creativity session is really an opportunity to allow yourself to brainstorm, to create, to freely write or sculpt or work on the instrument you're learning, whatever that looks like for you. So it's really tapping into your curiosity, your sense of wonder to create something. Number 3 is going to be a curation session every day. Again, no time minimum, no time maximum. This is your opportunity to hone what you're creating. So this could look like an editing session. This could look like working on a technique. This could look like setting up, Patreon or Substack if that's something that excites you. Whatever it is, it's an opportunity to take what you have created in its more nebulous sense and its more free sense and direct it in a particular way, okay? So those are paired together, and again, no minimum, no maximum, just making sure that you are tending to the creation side through the creation session and a curation side through the curation session. Number 4, you're gonna share something about your creativity with your community. Now here's what I don't mean by that. I don't mean you're just tossing things into the ether on social media, accepting all feedback from complete strangers who want to tear you down and thinking that that is sharing in community. What I mean by this is start to pinpoint people who give you great feedback, who are supportive of your creative endeavors, who will both cheer you on and be honest with you, who are willing to be in a reciprocal relationship with you. That is building community. So it could be as simple as a couple of friends that you know may or may not understand your particular creativity, but are very willing to give you both support and feedback. It could be an online community. It could be the community that we're forming through 75 Bard, or any combination of those things. So it's completely fine if one of the ways you'd like to share your work is online through social media, of course. Just keep in mind that community includes people really caring about moving you forward, not just a bunch of people trying to tear down your creativity. So that's really important to keep in mind. Okay, so we've talked about tending foundations. We've talked about having one creativity session, one curation session, and sharing with community. Number 5 is what I like to call artistic morsels. It's inspiration, it's learning, it's growth. So each day you're going to read, listen to, or watch something that stokes your inspiration, your growth, your learning, so that you can really expand your horizons. It can be really limiting in the world of creativity if you're only operating off of what you are used to in this moment, if you are not challenging yourself to think differently or pull in things that will give you some more raw materials to create with. Now, there's no guideline in terms of whether this is a podcast, YouTube video, movie, book, article. It can be any of these things, and it does not have to be nonfiction. It can also be fiction. We can learn a lot of things from fiction. We can learn a lot of things from art and maybe reading about other artists even. So it's wide open for you. And again, there's no minimum or maximum here. There will be some suggestions, but that's pretty much it for that piece, okay? Last, but certainly not least, so number 6, we're going to do something that sets our future self up for success. Now that could be, I'm committing to clearing off my desk in the evening so that it's ready to go when I write in the morning. It could be, I'm gonna make sure to restock my painting supplies because I keep running out right in the middle of when I'm inspired. It could be, I'm making sure that I get enough sleep tonight so I can show up well tomorrow. Whatever is going to help you continue your consistency and your momentum and set your future self up for success. This is also a pretty good approach for those of us who sometimes have difficulty doing kind and supportive things for ourselves in the moment. If you think about your future self as almost a completely separate person sometimes, what would you do for a friend to set them up for success, or a loved one, or a family member? And pouring back in for yourself to keep your momentum going and thinking just a little bit into the future, right? So it could be as simple as tomorrow. It could be as simple as your future self being this evening, right? Maybe having a nourishing meal and saying, hey, family member, hey, partner, I'm going to be going into my creative space for a little while. Can we please make sure that I have that space to do so, right? So it can be really simple. And it's going to be, again, a daily practice. So you're always going to have a little bit of your future self in mind as well. Okay? So recap. Every day for 75 days during the 75 Bard Challenge, we're going to tend our foundations. We're going to have one creative session, one curation session. We're going to share something about our creativity with our community. We're going to read, listen to, or watch something that inspires, helps us learn, and helps us grow. And we're going to do something that sets our future self up for success. That's it. That's the heart of the challenge for 75 days. If we slip up, we're not going to start the 75 days over. If we stumble, we're going to keep going because we want to stoke an all or something mindset. We don't want to get stuck in an all or nothing mindset, especially with our creativity, because what we're looking for here is sustainable consistency and being able to really stoke our creativity and build some community along the way. So if all of that sounds doable, interesting, even exciting, hopefully for you, then I want you to comment ready to create. I want you to maybe share something that you're already thinking about focusing on, and we're gonna have a little bit more information about how to prepare for this challenge moving forward. Again, we're kicking off together January 2nd, 2026. So we're going to get past the holiday and we're gonna give ourselves at least one day in the new year to chill and rest before we get started. I hope that you join us. Again, I'm Bex. Please follow, like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Comment ready to create if you're going to join us, and we'll see you in January.